Hello, I am Satish. Today we are going to discuss the relational model. Okay, so first of all, we understand what is relational model. Relational model is called as relational integrity constant is referred to condition which must be present for valid relation. Okay, let's start with the example. Here in our screen, we have one table. And inside this table, customer ID, customer name, and status are these three attributes are defined. Okay. Table also called as a relation because see each and every record is maintained in a table. We also call as a tuple. Okay. We call as a tuple. Each row acting as a single record or tuple, or we call as a tuple or row. And tuple is denoted by hash. Okay, and each column acting as attribute. So column is also indicated by hash. So why it is called as a relational integrity constant? Because inside the table the customer ID is specified and customer ID is identical by primary key. Primary key means what? It is a unique key. Okay, as like other keys. For example, take a student table. Student having a roll number. Yes, student having a roll number, and roll number is unique for each and every student in a particular class. Similarly, suppose we are going to create a particular account on Amazon website or Flipkart. Okay, it creates, Amazon already defines the customer ID which is automatically created in the background side, and it is unique. The primary key cannot be repeated or duplicated. So this is called as the primary key. We call it the unique identification of customers. And second, we call it the domain. Okay, domain must be a valid, or we call it the domain must be a value. See, domain means what? Here my domain is my customer name, means what? My domain compulsory required a particular value. In a customer name, suppose I am providing services to the different companies. Here the Google is my client, Amazon is my client, Apple is my client, and I am going to provide the particular service to particular company. So we call it as a domain. Domain means it's a must be a valid domain. It must require at least minimum one value. Value must be present, it not be a null. That is called as a domain. And that is the relation between your ID and domain. That's we call as a integrity constant. That we call as a relational integrity constant. Okay, that's why relational model, relational integrity constant is referred, is based on condition. Okay, so status is a regular column. It does not affect the your relation. Now understand the domain constant. As we have said that, okay, in the domain constant, uh, here customer name must be required. Okay, suppose you are ordering a particular value, particular product from Amazon, then you must have to specify your customer name and customer address. That is called as a domain constant. And second, key constant. Okay, key constant, as like we said, primary key. Okay, primary key means what? In a primary key, it is be unique. Okay, it must be a unique. Okay, these values are unique values, 1, 2, 3. Similarly, you have to specify the unique values, right? So that unique values are specified with the key constant. There are different types of key constant, but we have taken here primary key only. Now understanding the next, referential integrity constant. Reference means what? Reference means what? Table value is passed to the another table value. Table value is passed to the another table ID. For example, suppose you have Amazon account, you are ordering some product from Amazon, means your customer ID reflect to your order table. Your customer ID is reflect to your order table. That's called as a referential integrity constraint. Okay. Now let's understand in a deep insight what is domain constraint. See, domain constraint. Domain constraint can be violated if an attribute is value not appearing in the corresponding domain or it is not of the appropriate data type. Let's understand with the clear. Domain constraint can be violated if an attribute value is not appearing in the corresponding domain. Okay, means if your value is not appearing in the particular attribute column or it is not of the appropriate data type. Okay, let's understand this concept with the example. Here, our example: create domain customer name check not null, means suppose I am going to create one particular table here, and for example this is my order table. Okay, and order table, suppose I am ordering particular product from Amazon, then what is compulsory required? First, customer name. Okay, customer name is a compulsory required, and second, address. Okay, customer address. Okay, these two columns are compulsory required for your domain, means it is must be present at the time of ordering particular product. Okay, at the time of ordering particular product, it may be of Amazon or it may be of Flipkart, as you like. Okay, now see, the example shown demonstrate creating a domain constraint such as customer name is not null. Okay, as I said, this is an order table and order table must require a customer name and customer address. Okay, now let's understand another domain constraint is a check constraint. Okay, in a check, suppose see here employee ID, address, phone number, age and name, these are the normal columns. See, age and phone number, suppose I have data type integer. Okay, I have data type integer. So, ordering particular product, or suppose I am specifying employee ID. See, this is belongs to employee table. So, what is the basic criteria of work in a company? The age must be above 18. So, this is my domain constraint. Okay, age is greater than equal to 18. That is called as a domain constraint. Domain constraint specify that within the each tuple and value of each attribute must be unique. Value of each attribute must be unique. See, for example, domain constraint, I said that, see, for example, take a employee name. Okay, employee name must be present and employee name must be unique. It cannot be repeated. Okay, like a domain. Now understand the next point is a key constants. See, key constant means what? A attribute that can uniquely identify a tuple in a relation is called as a key of the table. Okay, the value must be uniquely identified. Suppose I am ordering a particular product from the Amazon, then Amazon must be create a customer ID which is unique, and that unique value is totally depend on the table values. Okay, means user can access that values or records unique addresses using customer ID. Suppose I have an account in Amazon or Flipkart, then the customer ID is created inside the database table, and that database table maintain this ID as a primary key. What is mean by primary key? Primary key means it is a unique value. It cannot be duplicated or it cannot be repeated. Okay, or it must be a unique, and the primary key is a only one primary key allowed in a particular one table. Okay, that is the thing to apply the key constant. Okay, in the given table, customer ID, see, this is the customer ID, is a key attribute of customer. It is most likely to have a single key of for one customer. For example, customer ID is equal to 1 is only for one. Means it cannot be repeated. Once it is allocated, it cannot be repeated. 2 is allocated, it is cannot be repeated. 3 is allocated, it is cannot be repeated. Now, next, see, understanding the referential integrity constant. So, first, let's start with the referential integrity constant. Referential integrity constant. Referential integrity constant is a base of the concept of foreign key. Let's understand what is referential key integrity constant and what is a foreign key. See, so I will choose the pointer. Okay. Then see, suppose I have a table called as a customer. I have one table, customer, and customer having a customer ID. Second attribute is a customer name. Third is a status. Okay, these are the three columns and we call it the three attributes. I have second table billing. Okay, inside the billing, first I have invoice number, I have customer ID, and third I have amount. Let's understand in real scenario. Suppose the person, okay, this is my person, going to order, okay, going to order particular product, order particular product online on Amazon. At that time, this person need to create a valid account on Amazon. Okay, means this table is belongs to this my customer. This is my customer. Okay, and each customer is belongs to this table. Okay, and here suppose this customer ordering particular product means at the time of ordering, the billing table is present in a database and it will create first invoice number. Second, it checks customer ID. It checks customer ID means what? The customer, who is the customer? Okay, the customer is here, this customer. Okay, those having customer ID 1 ordering particular product, and that amount is generated inside the billing table. That is called as a referential integrity constant. Means suppose the billing table need to create a particular bill, at that time billing table refer the customer ID. Billing table refer the customer ID. See, this is customer ID. See, this is a ID. Billing table refers the customer ID. Okay, means what? This is called as a foreign key. Means primary key of one table is foreign key of another table. Primary key of one table is foreign key of another table. Means, see, this customer ID is acting as a primary key, and here this customer ID acting as a foreign key. Okay, this customer ID acting as a foreign key. Okay, right, I am writing here. For here, this is my primary. Okay, this is my primary key and this is my reference key or foreign key. I hope you are understand this concept. What is a referential integrity constant and what is a foreign key. Now moving to the next. Let's understand the advantage of relational model. What is mean by simplicity? Relational model provide the simplicity option. What is mean by simplicity? Simplicity means we can create number of tables inside the database and we can maintain number of records in tables. Okay, for example record 1 to up to whatever it may be, you can create n records inside the table and you can access this record easy way as per your key constants. Okay, that's called as a simplicity. Now second point is let's clear the okay, I will take arrow. Structural independence. What is mean by structural independence? Structural independence means each and every table is having a different structure. Each and every table having a different location. Each and every table having a different data dictionary. Each and every table is a different indexes. Okay, and these structural independence means if you have a set of databases, and set of databases having a different tables means each database having a different tables, that is called as a structural dependency. Now next, easy to use. So let's understand with that the database and tables. Easy to use means what? You have database. You have database. Okay, this is called as a database, and each database is a table, or we call it a set of tables. Okay, say table 1 to table n. Okay, and that's why we can access the table with the help of schema name. This is called as a schema. Schema is nothing but a database, and relational model having a set of schemas. Okay, set of schemas. You can create also another schema like that, and here also having a tables schema 1, here also having a tables, and this is called as a schema 2. I hope you understand this thing. Okay, means easy to use. Each having a database software, you can create multiple schemas and multiple tables. That's why you can easily access that all values using a as per the name of schema. Now next point is query capability. What is mean by query? You can pass programming language query, procedural query to your database schemas using a terminal and generate the output. That is called as a query capability. Next, data independence means each table and each, let's see the example. Suppose data independence means suppose this is my database and here inside one database I have one table. Okay, means both, suppose I have two databases. Okay, let's take another one database, and here also having a table. Means values inside that tables are different. Values inside that tables are different. So data dependence independence means, okay, both schema, we call it the S1 and we call it the S2, is totally independent. Is totally independent because data is accessed. See, data accessed using a schema name and table name. That's called as a data database. Suppose I want to access a particular database. I refer here S1 dot, what is this? T1. Okay, S1 dot T1. Okay, this is my independence. Okay, and here, for example, I have second database S2. I want to access it. Then I can specify S2 dot T1. That is called as the data independence. Okay, next, scalable. Okay, this is also data independence also belongs to scalable, means you can easily move a database from one location to another location. You can also change the values inside the tables. Okay, that is called as scalable. Scalable is nothing but means moving operations. You can move the data. Okay, let's understanding the properties of relations. Now, okay, first property is the, see, name of the relation is distinct from all other relation. Okay, in a relational model, these are the standard properties. See, what is it called as a name of the relation is a distinct from all other relation. Suppose I am going to specify the relation between the two tables. Okay, for example, student is my table, and here I am going to make the relation with the branch. Okay, branch is my another one table. So I want to make it relation between these two tables. Students belongs to branch. Okay, right? Student belongs to branch. And this relation must be a distinct or we call it a unique. The relation must be a unique or distinct. Okay. From other relation also. See, suppose here student get the admission in a branch. So my relation is a admission. Okay. This is called as a distinct relation. This is called as a distinct relation. Now, next is a each relation cell contain exactly one atomic single value. See, understanding what is a single atomic value. As I said, single atomic value means each table having a unique records. See, here student ID. We call it as ID. This is the atomic value. This is the atomic. Okay. This each table must be an atomic value. See, atomic value each relation cell. Each relation cell. Okay, this is my relation cell. This is my relation cell. Must be a exactly one atomic value. Exactly one atomic value means what? It cannot be repeated. This student ID must be a unique for a particular student table. Okay. Now next point is each attribute contain a distinct name. Each attribute contain a distinct name. Let's understand with the table. Each attribute contain a distinct name means what? Suppose I am extending this table. Now next point is that student ID is atomic and each attribute contains distinct name. For example, distinct name I specify the student name. Okay, student name also is a distinct name. Okay, distinct names. Each student having a different names. Okay, maybe sometimes the both names are same, but if the both names are same, then we call as a use the atomic key to refer the particular student. Okay, now next understanding. Attribute domain has no significance. Attribute domain. See, attribute domains has no significance means what? Let's understand it with the table. For example, in a branch, suppose branch table having student ID. Okay, in branch location. Okay, means attribute domain has no significance. Means branch location having no significance means cannot be repeat or cannot be duplicate because branch location is a fixed or branch location each center having a different name. So that's called as a branch no significance. Okay. Now next point. Tuple has no duplicate values. As I said, these are the atomic values. Each student having a unique ID and each student having a unique ID. We call it the primary key or atomic value like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it may be. And it cannot be duplicate value or cannot be repetitive. So that is called as also another property. Tuple has no duplicate value. And next, order of tuple can have a different sequence. Order of tuple can have a different sequence. Okay, each table, each table having a set of records. Each table having a set of records, right? And each table we can refer as a database table and different sequence. We cannot say that okay, this is in a particular order is required. So it may be a change as per the need. Okay, order of tuple can have a different sequence. Okay, different sequence means maybe eternal swapping as per the registration of record means names are different. For example, here it's not like alphabetical. Okay, Atish is my student. Satish is my student, and maybe it will be a swappable or changeable. And next, see the property. Okay, now these properties are over. Okay, now let's understand all these relational model with the help of example. Okay, just take one example. Customer, we call it a company. Just company having a customers. Company provide the manufacturing. Okay, of particular product. Company produces the products based on manufacturing. So we said that we have a manufacturing division, company having a customers, company having orders, company having a products, and company having a order item tables. These are the tables. Okay, this is my customer table one, first table, manufacturing table, order table, product table, and fifth one is a order item table. So company having a different products. Okay, company having a different products, and each product is maintained by his product ID, name, color, manufacturing date, manufacturing ID. So first we call as a manufacturer. Suppose company going to produce particular manufacturing of product. So first they are going to create the which table? Manufacturer table. Manufacturer, okay, manufacturing ID, manufacturer name, address, and contact. So what kind of manufacturing they are doing or generating? So they are specifying here product ID, product name, color, manufacturing date, and manufacturing ID. See, let's understand with the example. For example, take a Parle-G company. Parle-G company provide the biscuits product. They have different products. Parle-G, Parle-G sweet and salt, Parle-G cookies, Parle-G Parle Marie. Okay, so for example, they are providing a glucose biscuit. So here they are created the particular ID for the glucose biscuits, and the manufacturing ID is specified to particular product. And next, they are specifying the particular biscuit or product related ID in a product table, and that manufacturing ID is acting as reference ID in product table. So we call as here manufacturing ID is a primary key, and here reference key or foreign key. That is the relational model. See, each table having a one and only one primary key, or we call it a unique key, or we call it the atomic key. And that primary key, that unique key acting as a reference key or foreign key in another table. So that is the relationship between the our tables. Similarly, suppose I am a customer, I am ordering a particular 100 buckets or 100 box of the particular products. So my order is placed inside a particular order table. So I am a customer, I have customer ID, name, address, contact and credit limit. So I am ordering a particular product. So in a order table, order ID is generated, customer ID. See, this is the customer ID, okay? This is the customer ID. Means suppose my customer ID is 101 and similarly my ID is repeated here 101. Means this customer ID is a primary key or unique key for customer table and here acting as a reference key or foreign key. Okay. The value of this ID 101 and 101 must be same. Similarly, manufacturing ID for example M11. So manufacturing ID M11 must be the same. Okay, that is the relationship between the table. So reference and purchase date. Okay, these are the some values put inside the order table. Similarly, after successful order generated, order item table is going to create, and inside the order item, order ID is acting here. See, order ID here acting as a primary key, or we say the OID as acting as a primary key. This ID, for example, is here in order table 111 is my order ID, but here it is not required to put 111. Instead of I put the 112 because see, order in order table order ID is here. In order item table order ID also specified. So it is not required to, they must be the same. Okay. So order ID also is maybe a different in order table. But here we said that product ID is required. So this product ID mention must be the same. Suppose P101 is my product ID and it must be same here inside the P101 here. And here I can add one more item, order. Okay, and this OID must be similar here 111. Okay, so these are the all relations. See, 101 is customer ID. This belongs to this, and I will see it another color. Pink color, blue. See, this 101 must be the same. This OID must be in order as the same. This product ID is must be same. Okay, this is called as a relation. Okay, each table refer the value of another table. This is simple called as a relation. So I hope understand all of you are. Now I erase all ink on slide and go to the next slide. Okay, schema diagram for a banking entry. Let's understand another example. I will take pen. Okay, in a banking, what they have? In a banking, each bank they have a branch. This is a branch table. They have account table because customer having account. They have depositor table because they are customer depositing amount. They have customer table to keep the information of customer. They have loan table to describe the customer who are already taken a loan. They have borrower table for maintaining who is borrower of the particular loan. So let's start with the customer. Suppose I am a customer going to bank and opening my account. So customer table maintain the each and every information of customer. The customer table having account. So they specify in which account. Suppose Mumbai branch means my account is created in a Mumbai branch and I am placed 1000 rupees as opening balance, right? 1000 amount is my opening balance and branch is Mumbai. Next means what is the relation? See, a customer having a account, they having a balance in account 1000 rupees. Okay, they also having a depositor account, means I am deposited 1000 rupees in my account, so it maintain record of depositing is called as account number. With the help of account number I am depositing customer name and account number. Similarly, where it is deposited, it specify the branch name. So it is branch name. Okay, see, in a branch table, branch name, branch city and asset. So this is the relation. See, this is the relation. Okay, and account number is belongs to the depositor account. So this is the relation. And customer name is belongs to depositor. So this is the relation. See me, customer opening account, customer deposit account, customer. See here, let's take customer opening account, customer having account, customer perform deposit operation, and customer perform the deposit operation with the help of branch. Means they having a branch, right? And next, suppose the customer want already have a loan account, so they see loan account is depends on your branch name. Suppose I am a customer which belongs to Mumbai and I have loan, so my loan number is a different and branch name must be same. Okay, yeah, this is my relation between the branch name. Okay, branch table and loan, and the amount is whatever it may be. It may be 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh. And the next loan account belongs to borrower. So in a borrower we said that who is the borrower? Customer name. So this is the relation with the table. This is the relation borrower, and borrower belongs to loan. This is a simple understanding of banking. So banking customers record meeting. Customer record, they are depositing the amount, they are withdrawing the amounts, and they also having the loan accounts. They submitting the amount in a loan. Okay, this is the simple called as a relation between the tables. That's called as a relational model. I hope all of you are understood these relational models and how it is work in your system. So thank you very much.